Kathy Webster. I live in Kansas City, and I am a Women Heart champion. I'm congenital. They caught something when I was first born, but the technology wasn't there to properly diagnose it. So I've graduated from high school. I'm ready to go off to college, but my parents decided, somebody decided to see a primary care physician. And he immediately said, you need to see a cardiologist. The cardiologist recommended I come to Mayo. And so I did. There was a little bit of a wait. My appointment here was in mid-November. I was college bound. I was a teenager. There was not a lot I liked about this process. but my parents drove up from Kansas City. Dad dropped us off. My mom stayed with me. The Mayo process of going through the clinic for the various tests and such. I was here a total of 11 days. So I had the tests, and then I had the open heart surgery at St. Mary's Hospital.
How did this surgery change your perception or the course of your life, either personally or professionally?
Well, the fact that quickly the symptoms went away after the surgery made it almost seem like I had had heart surgery, although I certainly had a scar from that, which I was very sensitive about as a young person. I still had doting parents. I remember the first roommate I had, I was horrified to learn that my father came in and talked to her about keep an eye on, take good care of my daughter. I was like, oh, parents, what are you doing? But really, I felt great. I was told to come in once a year for a checkup with a cardiologist. Those went great for many, many, many years. So I didn't really feel like I had any barriers and any reason why I couldn't. I went on to finish college, got an advanced degree, had a good career. So I didn't feel constrained at all by the fact that I had this surgery at a young age.
So tell us about your relationship with Women Heart, the National Coalition for Women with Heart Disease, and what led you to even seek being involved in an organization focused on heart disease in women?
So all the years I was seeing a cardiologist once a year, it felt like every time I walked into the waiting room, I was usually the youngest person, but also often the only woman. And even though I had this family that smothered me with love and care and support, I didn't have a peer group. I didn't have someone I could go and say, what do you think about the scar? Or I had this, how did it feel for you? So I felt this need to talk to somebody other than my family. I did have my second open heart in 2005. And then I learned about Women Heart after that. And so I came up here in 2006 and went through the training to become a Women Heart champion. And honestly, Sharon, that changed my life in kind of two ways. One was the return to Mayo Clinic. It's very different now, but again, the hotel is still here.
There's still a Kaler Hotel.
Yeah, there's still a St. Mary's Hospital. So that was kind of an emotional reckoning of what I went through years ago. So then it was the first time that I found myself with other women. Nobody had the identical diagnosis that I did. Nobody had the identical experience, but we had the joint experience of, hey, there's something wrong with my body. It needs to be fixed. And I want to talk about it with someone else that's been through something similar. So the peer support was amazing. Also, though, because you've been involved with Women Heart since its founding, the very first night you're here, you do a go-round with all the patients that are here asking why you're here. And that became a very emotional night for many in the room, because for many of us, it's the first time we got to tell our story of what happened with us. And so again, some unique bonding happened through that. We call ourselves Heart Sisters, even though we come from all over the country, but we can provide support to one another through all the years.
What message do you hope that other women will take away from your story that you've just told us?
A heart diagnosis is very scary. But it, as much as possible, don't try to make it confining to your life. Try not to be a heart patient first and a human being second. There's just so much, I mean, we're all different, but there's so many things hopefully you could still go on and do. And don't ever give up hope. You know what, some of my Heart Sisters talk about miracles, that they had no idea that whatever scary diagnosis they had could be treated, and then they could bounce back into the life that they wanted to have. So don't give up hope. And then finally, I guess I'd say, trust other women, work with other women, use the peer support that's available to you, because it's so important. It's so important to be able to relate to somebody that's been through something similar to you, to what you have. The compassion and the empathy doesn't usually come from too many other people in your life. Even if you have wonderful other people in your life, they kind of don't get it. I want to take a minute just to, again, thank the Mayo Clinic for 35 years of great health after a procedure I had here in very early days, as I understand it, of heart surgery. I've shared with you a picture that I have from St. Mary's Hospital in 1970, and I was on a heart-lung machine at that point. And as you, I think, have said to me, they were probably almost the size of a car then. So the technology's been great, but also I obviously got very good health care. So I'm very grateful because I have been able to live my life, make the choices I wanted to make, and enjoy a good career, a good education, a good career, and a wonderful family. So
I am grateful for Dr. Magoon and his team as well, because you have been so important for so many other women. And so if for nothing else, that is something I am gratitude, because of that one event, it has been paid forward for so many.